Chapter 41 Brother, you are not dumb. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother. My sister's legs hurt a little when she walks, and she wants to ride a horse. Can I? Hey. Brother. Your equipment doesn't seem to be very good. Do you want me to give you one? Why don't you talk? Are all NPC soldiers like this? Or are they all dumb? But at least they can make noises, right? Boring, I've been chatting with a bunch of dumb people for a long time. Then, these gamers also stopped talking and followed Dong Lei's footsteps. When Dong Lei and Daphne were about to reach the center of KS City, they found a huge altar in the distance. This huge altar was piled with various corpses, including the skeletons of various people, and the flesh and blood dripped down, which seemed to have not dried up yet. In addition, this altar began to emit a strong light. When Dong Lei saw this huge altar, his face changed. Altar of the Evil Saint. It seems that this time the SSS core leader's mission is not simple. At first, Dong Lei thought that there was only the dark wizard Huang Yaoshi. Unexpectedly, he wanted to sacrifice the Evil Saint. Just after the start, the situation in front of him changed dramatically. Before Dong Lei could think about it, countless undead suddenly appeared in front of Dong Lei and Daphne. From all the alleys and roads, they poured out continuously, and, towards the direction of Dong Lei and Daphne, they roared and killed. It's time to eat. Brothers and sisters. Kill. Kill. Dong Lei and Daphne picked up their weapons and shouted loudly. Which sentence was Dong Lei's was particularly obvious. Daphne's army soldiers were ready, holding long swords, riding dark horses, and killing the undead. Kill. The voice was majestic and extremely loud. This voice made the gamers stunned for a moment. Brother, you are not dumb. Thank God, they can speak. Brother, you are more arrogant than your sister. The gamers' response was much slower than that of the NPC soldiers, but they also began to carry their weapons and attack the undead army, because the NPC soldiers rode their horses and blocked the front, fighting with the undead army. Dong Lei carried the Hex Devil gun, shining brightly, and pieces of undead were hit and killed, and Daphne, riding a black-scaled warhorse and holding a long sword, rushed into the undead army and killed them. Black-scale warhorse, diamond level. 15. Class, diamond level, effect, increase speed by 60%, mount introduction, high-level warhorse mount of the Wind and Thunder Empire. Because the NPC soldiers were blocking the front, the gamers behind them were very happy. The gamers were frantically releasing their skills to kill the undead. For some mages and priests, throwing skills, not worrying about being killed, and feeling comfortable. And the warriors and assassins released skills from time to time, hiding behind the NPC soldiers. From time to time, watching and listening, and finishing the knife. Wow! I feel so safe with these NPCs blocking the front. A female priest, while releasing skills to attack the undead, spoke a little bit coquettishly. In an instant, the entire game players were noisy again. Yo yo yo! The boss killed another one, and got 11 points of military value. And experience points. Beautiful. If I keep doing this, I will reach level 19. Great. Oh my God. How can you last hit so well? Teach me. Speaking of promotion, this wave is so exciting. The last hit speed should be faster. Oh. You keep saying oh, it's so annoying. Instantly, the last word was oh. The gamers were still in the mood, killing the undead and joking at the same time. However, it did not affect their military value and experience, and the gamers were killing the undead and last hitting. In Dong Lei's ears, the voices of the system came one after another. System prompt, you have received a military value reward, which is 1 point of the military value obtained by the soldiers after killing the dead. Your soldiers killed, dead, black iron, and you got 1 point of military value. Congratulations, you have triggered a random 100-fold increase, and you have received 415 military value. Your soldiers killed, dead, black iron, and you have received 1 point of military value. Congratulations, you have triggered a random 100-fold increase, and you have received 585 military value. Your soldiers killed, dead, black iron, and you have received. Dong Lei looked at the gamers who were trying hard to make up the knife, and he was very pleased. In order to contribute military value to him, they were also very hardworking. Fortunately, Dong Lei is relatively kind. If it were someone else, he would have raised these gamers like dogs long ago. He would even say thank you if he sold them. It is impossible to issue those so-called random rewards of shares. Of course, these gamers can already have the reward of military value experience. For them, it is already very satisfying. After killing for a while, Dong Lei thought about it and decided to give the gamers more rewards. So, Dong Lei opened his personal panel, clicked on his Legion panel, and then clicked to open the Regional Competition Military Value list. The Regional Competition Military Value list can only be opened by the generals. As Dong Lei opened it, the gamers in this area received a voice from the system. Player, Shifeng, shot the Regional Competition Military Value list. Players on the list can get rich rewards. Please check it out by yourself. Then, the gamers opened the Regional Competition Military Value list and checked it out. The Regional Competition Military Value list belongs to the ranking list. The top-ranked gamers will get rich rewards. Generally speaking, a large number of game players are more crazy and work harder to get to the front, and this time, the Regional Competition Military Value list was set by Dong Lei. He directly set the reward for the top of the list at 2 million military value. And the second place also has 800,000 military value. The third place is 400,000 military value. After the fourth place, it is much less, 80,000, 40,000, and so on. In the early stage of the game, it is unimaginable to get so much military value, as long as you are brave and you are very strong in finishing. Work harder, be diligent, and struggle. You can get the top reward of the Regional Competition Military Value list. This makes the killing sound of the entire player army much louder than the NPC soldiers in front. Kill. Little did they know that they seemed to be more vulnerable. At this moment, a large number of game players turned into gods of war, pushing away the NPC soldiers and rushing towards the undead army. The mages and priests behind their own team were also madly giving magic attacks and healing. It seemed that their team had discussed the division of the front area to compete for the military industry value list. Finally, I beat my mother. But, I met Grandpa. Grandpa was sitting on the road, and when he saw me, he stood up and walked towards me. I didn't respond at once. In an instant, Grandpa fell to the ground, grabbed my leg, and said that I hit him and broke his leg. In this era, there are no cars or bicycles, and you can be blackmailed like this even if you walk. I looked up and looked around, and there was no surveillance. It seems that this guy is a veteran, and he is blackmailing people in a place without surveillance. On the spot, Chapter 42. When you, a priest, kill first, we all have to die. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, the game players were shouting excitedly while killing the undead. It's great to compete for the military industrial value list in this region. Today I am bound to win the first place. If you don't grab it, we are all brothers. 2 million military points are so powerful. It's too much, so of course I'll do my best. Let me get 2 million military points. We are a team, let me make up for it. If I don't get the top spot, just give me 10th place. Kill me. Everyone, give my little sister a face, I want this first. Pull him down. When one of your priests takes over the top spot, we will all die. Originally, the NPC soldiers in front of the blockade were shocked when they saw this situation. Afterwards, I don't know what dignity it was, but I also fought hard to kill the undead. This caused the game players to curse and shout. Made, you NPC soldiers won't rob me. Brothers, you don't have any rankings to get. Can you give me some help? Mad, are you deaf? Brother, little sister, I can't steal your head like this. No. Grab it or not grab it. Look at the NPC soldiers, I'm even more desperate. Auntie, follow us. Funo. Following Dong Lei's call, the two teams charged towards the undead and cleared them very quickly. Originally, the number of undead spirits surrounding Daphne gradually decreased. when Daphne looked at the game players, she also showed a look of surprise. Then, he looked at Dong Lei again, and this man gave him too many different things. Unexpectedly, the soldiers led by Dong Lei were more brave than the soldiers led by her. At this moment, the evil saint altar began to emit light again. Dong Lei looked up and frowned. I saw that the souls of the dead kept flying towards the altar of the evil saint. The souls of the dead hovered over the altar of the evil saint for a while, and then entered the altar of the evil saint. Along with this, people from his own camp continued to kill the undead. It also caused the souls of the dead to come out continuously and fly towards the altar of the evil saint. It seems that I am also one of the wage earners. Previously, the evil saint sacrificed all the people in KS City and received a sacrifice. Moreover, after the powerful necromancer appeared, he turned the entire people of KS City into undead. Now, after killing these undead souls with my own army, I can offer another sacrifice to the altar of the evil saint. As you can imagine, the evil saint was summoned. The troops of the Fonglei Empire camp must clear out these undead souls. Therefore, this evil saint altar sacrifice plan is simply perfect. However, they met Dong Lei. Dong Lei shouted loudly towards the people in his camp. Be careful. I'm going to deal with the altar of the evil saint ahead. Daphne. Don't be careless. After saying that, Dong Lei first summoned 2 mounts 2 and 3, a 9-star Thunder Flame Tiger and a 1-star Thunder Flame Tiger, to help his own camp troops and kill the undead. Dong Lei himself drove the 9-star Thunder Flame Tiger towards the altar of the evil saint in front. Daphne heard the sound and looked at the back of Dong Lei, who had already rushed forward. Her beautiful eyes were shining, but she was a little worried in her heart, and she whispered. Well. You should be careful too. That without taking a few more glances, he chopped and slashed at the killing spirit even more quickly. Moreover, Daphne also commanded NPC soldiers and game players to fight against the undead army. The speed of the train under the 9-star Thunder Flame Tiger, killing and blocking the undead along the way, Dong Lei quickly arrived in front of the altar of the evil saint. The closer Dong Lei got to the altar of the evil saint, the more he felt the gloomy, dark, and lifeless aura coming towards his face. At this time, a system voice came from Dong Lei's ear. System prompt: you are under the influence of evil saint breath. All basic attributes are -30%. Congratulations, you triggered a random 100-fold increase. This is not true. Dong Lei is used to it, and his brain automatically imagined it. Dong Lei shook his head, cleared his eyes, and murmured in his heart. As expected of an evil saint, he was still affected, that even if the evil saint has not yet been sacrificed, the upcoming situation can affect Dong Lei. Through my own interface, I checked the content information of the evil saint altar. Altar of the evil saint, king level, 50. Level, king level, blood volume, 2y/2y. Defense, 30w. Altar introduction. The altar was designed by many undead warriors to summon the evil saint to appear, which required a large amount of human heads and flesh. A single altar of the evil saint is also a king-level treasure. Moreover, the defense and HP are really terrifying. 200 million blood and 300,000 defense power can be replaced by other gamers. It is estimated that they are all -0, -0, -0, -0. After all, the defense power is 30w. However, for Dong Lei, he has the penetration power to ignore defense, and the damage is constantly stacked. Without thinking too much, Dong Lei touched his evil mask and carried the Hex Devil gun. Attacking the evil saint altar. Boom. 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 1.3w, 2.4w, 3.1w, 5.1w, 6.5w. The damage continued to rise, causing more and more damage to the evil saint altar. In a short time, Dong Lei's attack knocked off a quarter of the health of the evil saint altar. At this time, several figures wearing black robes hidden in the evil saint altar kept rushing here. These people wearing black robes are the messengers of the evil saint. At this moment, 4 people rushed over. The old man standing in front, with a short beard and a black robe covering his head, shouted to the people behind him. Do it. Don't let him do this. If the evil saint doesn't come out, we will all die. Then, the black-robed people behind the old man heard the words. their faces changed, their pace became faster, and they picked up their weapons and killed Dong Lei. The old man in black robe paused for a while, standing and staring at Dong Lei, his eyes flickering, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, and I don't know what he was thinking. After a while, the old man in black robe also took a weapon and killed Dong Lei. At this time, Dong Lei's attack was accompanied by a superimposed damage increase. Boom! 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 -110W, -125W, -130W, -141W. Another quarter of the health of the evil saint altar is gone, and less than half of the health is left. At this time, Dong Lei heard a whoosh sound instead of a system sound. Dong Lei knew that someone was attacking him. Today is another extraordinary day. A man walked into the store. He asked, "Boss, do you have a Peninsula iron box?" That I got angry on the spot, pointing at the tofu in front of me and shouting, "No. Only tofu. Are you blind?" Chapter 43. The Old Man in Black Robe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Without thinking, Dong Lei turned around, and the evil mask and the hex devil gun also shot towards the direction of the sound. Dong Lei's weapon emitted a ray of light, and a dagger also pierced Dong Lei's chest. Originally it hit his back. This dagger made Dong Lei retreat several steps before stopping. A number appeared above Dong Lei's head. -1222. And the black-robed man of the assassin profession was shot at by a ray of light. Even though he was very agile and dodged 2 attacks, however, he was still successfully hit by the remaining 6 rays of light. Boom! 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 -21W, -24W, -27W, -30W. On the spot, the black-robed man lay on the ground, dead as hell. Dong Lei pulled out the dagger, threw it on the ground, and checked the information of the black-robed man through the interface. Evil Messenger, Stern Miaorenfeng, Master Elite, Level, 38. Level, Master.HP. 80W/80W. Physical Attack Power / Magic Attack Power, 8W, 11W. Defense, 32155. Skills, Miao Family Dagger Technique, Su Qin Back Dagger, Dark Crane Sky Wing, Messenger Introduction, a powerful messenger in the evil camp. At this time, a series of voices came from the system. You have successfully killed Evil Messenger Stern Miaorenfeng, Master Elite, and you have obtained 152W experience points, 3 attribute points, and 11W military value. Congratulations on triggering the random 100-fold increase. You have obtained 124.5 million experience points, 414 attribute points, and 134.1W military value. World Announcement. Player, Shifeng, killed Evil Messenger Stern Miaorenfeng, Master Elite, as the first to kill a Master-level Elite. Reward plus 30W gold coins, Miaorenfeng gift box, Master. Congratulations on triggering the random 100-fold increase. You have obtained 3504W gold coins, Miaorenfeng gift box, Legendary. System prompt. Your military value has reached 110 million, and you have successfully been promoted to 2 Diamond General. The other 2 black-robed men also arrived in front of Dong Lei at a very fast speed. When they saw the evil messenger, the serious-looking Miaorenfeng, being killed by Dong Lei in an instant, they all showed shocked expressions and looked up at Dong Lei. One of the men in black robes glared at him. "If you don't attack the evil saint's altar, we can spare your life." At this time, the gamers behind him were already cheering crazily. Beautiful. Brother Shifeng is worthy of being the elder brother. He killed another master-level elite in seconds. I saw with my own eyes how Brother Shifeng killed in seconds this time. The speed is still too fast. Can you do it again? Little sister loves you. Does Brother Shifeng have a wife? Can I do it again? Auntie, don't talk. It's disgusting. Are traditional mages so strong? So perverted? I'm stunned. Don't look at it, make up the knife. Our top 10 will be taken away. After killing all the undeads approaching, Daphne looked at Dong Lei. When she saw that there were 2 black robes in front of Dong Lei, Daphne's face changed slightly and she wanted to go over to help. However, she was still blocked by the undeads that surrounded her. As a result, Daphne carried her weapon and killed the undeads more frantically. At this moment, on the World Chat channel, the chat barrage was also rolling frantically. The great god Shurfong is awesome. It's a pity that I didn't become your little brother. Why does he get all the benefits? I'm so envious. Almost all the world announcements are about Shurfong players. Are they cheating? The players favored by the gods, I don't know what they are doing. Can you give me 10,000 gold coins? I can even call you daddy. Damn it. This Shurfong got ahead again. The one above, Wang Air. Your new village hasn't come out yet, don't brag. By the way, this evil messenger, the serious Miao Renfeng, is actually quite strong. If it were any other game player, it would probably not be killed so quickly. Unfortunately, he met Dong Lei, sent Dong Lei a lot of military value coins, experience points, and a big gift box. Dong Lei also looked at the two black-robed men and checked their personal information through the interface. Evil messenger soul chasing and life-snatching Wuchen Daochang, Master Elite, level, 38. Level, Master.HP. 85W/85W. Physical attack power / magic attack power, 9.3W, 12.3W. Defense, 33549. Skills, life snatching sword skill, 3-ring mysterious kick, dark sword red flower. Messenger introduction, he is an envoy of the evil camp, very powerful, and should not be underestimated. Evil messenger Qinjialua, Master Elite, level, 39. Level, Master.HP, 89W/89W. Physical attack power / magic attack power, 10W, 12.1W. Defense, 36542. Skills, 100 flowers fist, Pouding Jia sword, Jianqi heart technique. Introduction to the messenger. Among the messengers from the evil camp, he is a very scary person who is good at being polite, the man in black robe who just spoke. Is the evil messenger Qinjialua. At this time, an old man in black robe slowly landed in front of the two evil messengers, looked up at Dong Lei, and showed an evil smile. Mad, I just saw 2 messages, and here comes another one. Is this evil smile very bull-nosed? Dong Lei cursed and clicked on the interface again to check the personal information of the old man in black robe. Dark Master Huang Yaoshi, King level Elite. Grade. Level, King level, blood volume. Physical attack power / magic attack power. Defense. Skill. Introduction to the Dark Master, one of the great Dark Masters under Wang Songyang. He possesses terrifying dark magic strength, has a rebellious personality, is arrogant, unsociable, protects his shortcomings, behaves strangely but is chic, has an erratic figure, and is good at ghosts. Blowjob etc. As a result, Dong Lei was a little dumbfounded. This old man in black robe turned out to be the Dark Archmage Huang Yaoshi. Everything is a question mark, I just introduced it. Dong Lei's pupils shrank for a while and he murmured. Dark Master Huang Yaoshi. No need to think too much, the strength of the old man in black robe in front of him is very terrifying. In this game period, the Dark Master Huang Yaoshi is almost invincible, almost all game players are not his match at all. Dong Lei did not expect that he would meet the Dark Mage Huang Yaoshi in this KS city. If this Dark Mage Huang Yaoshi is killed by him, there may be a huge reward. Thinking of this, Dong Lei looked at the Dark Master Huang Yaoshi, his eyes full of longing. This made Dark Archmage Huang Yaoshi stunned for a moment, and then he laughed strangely. Your Excellency, you can join our camp. I believe we will give you a very generous reward when the time comes. I have seen your strength with my own eyes, that I like Natsuki Motegi and I heard that she has become a good person. Moreover, I heard that she is no longer in that kind of industry, but it makes me passionate. My first love has another chance. However, I heard from friends that she made a lot of money in that industry and felt that she was no longer worthy of her. I went all the way north, I fell in love again. I would like to ask, can men also work in this kind of industry? Window_tabula equals window_tabula .push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _ type, mix. Chapter 44. Is there such a reward as the one you mentioned? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Grand Master is right. You can also join us and become the Evil Saint's messenger. The Evil Saint will also give you a lot of rewards and the same as what you want. That the evil messenger Chinjalua behind him saw the situation and took a step forward and said sternly, he asked people to join the Evil Saint's messenger, and he was still angry. Hearing this, Dong Lei smiled, shook his head, and said to these people, "Want one? Now I want your heads." "You said there is no such reward," Dong Lei said while quickly checking the skills he had just plundered. The Seedling Blade Wind skill just now had been plundered by Dong Lei under the SSS level talent, passive, Crazy Plunder. Moreover, these three skills are upgraded and triggered by a random 100-fold amplification, LV2 Meow Family Dagger Technique, level 2. Effect, release a dagger, shoot at the enemy, and increase damage by 650%, cooling time, 15 seconds, blue bar consumption. 110 MP, proficiency, 0 out of 100. Skill introduction, the exclusive skill of the Serious Meow Blade Phoenix. This skill is a sneak attack, LV2 Su Chin Back Dagger, level 2. Effect, release a dagger behind you, attack the enemy, and increase penetration damage by 510%. Cooling time, 15 seconds, blue bar consumption, 100 MP, proficiency, 0 out of 100. Skill description, the exclusive skill of the Serious Meow Renfeng, which shoots a dagger from behind to catch the enemy off guard, LV2 Dark Crane Wings, level 2. Effect, the Dark Crane attacks the enemy, causing damage and reducing magic resistance by 630%, cooling time, 15 seconds. Blue bar consumption, 110 MP, proficiency, 0/100. Skill description, the exclusive skill of the Serious Meow Renfeng, which can reduce the magic resistance of the enemy when hitting it. Dong Lei quickly clicked on the interface and replaced LV2 Tiger Roar, LV2 Iron Claw, and LV2 Tail Whip with LV2 Dark Crane Wings, LV2 Su Chin Back Dagger, and LV2 Meow Family Dagger method. Dong Lei's words made the Dark Wizard Huang Yaoshi, the opportunist Chinjalua, and the soul-chasing Wuchen Thief leader stunned for a moment. Then, the faces of Chinjalua and the soul-chasing Wuchen Thief leader were full of anger, but the Dark Wizard Huang Yaoshi continued to smile evilly and spoke first. "Why don't you do it?" Upon hearing this, Chinjalua and the soul-chasing Wuchen Thief leader immediately attacked Dong Lei. Chinjalua, who was opportunist, held the Earth Demon Sword, released a strong black light, shot towards Dong Lei, and shouted loudly. Pao Ding untied the sword. On the other side, the soul-chasing Wuchen Thief leader held the evil sword of the Thief family, and under the grey-black light, he shot towards Dong Lei and shouted. Death Sword Technique. Dong Lei's defense is extremely terrifying. The powerful body of King Kong and the strong equipment add to his defense. If he hadn't been hit by the dagger in the chest, he wouldn't have suffered more than 1,000 damage. However, the strength of these two evil messengers should not be underestimated. Dong Lei retreated quickly, trying to dodge. As a result, he was still attacked by the Pao Ding Jie Jian and the Death Sword Technique. There was no way. Dong Lei raised his arms to try to resist the two rays of light attack. The two black rays and grey-black rays still hit Dong Lei's body. On Dong Lei's head, the numbers -223 and -245 appeared. For Dong Lei, these two injuries were easily resisted. In the game Reincarnation, players still have a certain immersive experience when facing attacks and injuries, and they will still feel the pain. Humph. Now it's time. Dong Lei put down his arms, stared at Chinjalua and the soul-chasing Wuchen bandit leader, and said coldly. When Chinjalua and the soul-chasing Wuchen bandit leader saw that their skills had attacked Dong Lei's body. Originally, the two of them looked very successful, thinking that Dong Lei would die, but they didn't expect that after Dong Lei retreated a few steps, he was still able to stand, as if he didn't suffer any damage. The two messengers showed unbelievable and shocked eyes. Dong Lei was not hurt by the attacks of the two of them. "You don't look like you're injured at all." Chinjalua, who was a man of action, had a trembling arm and a numb scalp. He couldn't believe what he saw. "Your defense is too scary." that the soul-chasing Wuchen bandit chief was shocked and frightened, and couldn't believe it. Qin Jialua and the soul-chasing Wuchen bandit chief took a step back, and their faces were very ugly. Dong Lei held the Hex Devil gun and touched the evil mask, and activated his Taoist skills, blasting towards the attackers Qin Jialua and the soul-chasing Wuchen bandit chief. Qin Jialua and the soul-chasing Wuchen bandit chief saw this, and they thought this man could release Taoist skills, and their faces turned the color of pig liver, scared. Turning around and running away quickly and madly, and, in the minds of both of them, 3 words flashed: no. That's right. Dong Lei released the skill, which is the LV2 Miao family dagger skill. The Taoist dagger was mixed with bright and penetrating light, and it shot past the wind-driven rudder Qin Jialua and the soul-chasing Wuchen bandit. This is simply impossible for Qin Jialua and the bandit leader Wuchen, who chases souls and kills. They know that this is Miao Renfeng's exclusive skill, so how did it get into Dong Lei's hands? Moreover, it is even more terrifying than when Miao Renfeng's skill is released. Daggers, each shot towards Qin Jialua, the helmsman who saw the wind, and Wuchen, the bandit leader who chased the soul and killed him. Qin Jialua, who saw the wind, and Wuchen, the bandit leader who chased the soul and took his life, fled desperately, and finally managed to escape 2 dagger attacks. However, the other 2 LV2 Miao dagger techniques still hit their bodies. In an instant, Qin Jialua, who saw the wind, and Wuchen, the bandit who chased the soul, was directly hit on the body. The impact was terrible, and the 2 of them fell to the ground. Boom! Boom! -40W. -41W. Boom! Boom! -39W. 42W. That the heads of Qin Jialua and the soul-chasing and life-chasing bandit Wu Chen had red numbers popping up on their heads. However, Qin Jialua and Wuchen pirate leader, who were able to catch the wind and seize life, did not kill them on the spot, and they were still in a state of residual health. Qin Jialua, who saw the wind, and Wuchen, the bandit who chased the soul and killed him, looked happy, got up quickly, and continued to run as hard as they could. Dong Lei's body armor was shining slightly. Dong Lei looked at their retreating figures and said softly, "Bang! Bang!" That I saw that these 2 evil messengers, after running away for a few steps, suddenly stood still. On their heads, 2 bright red numbers burst out, -11W, -10W. Qin Jialua, who was driven by the wind, and Wuchen pirate Changsai, who chased the soul and killed the soul, did not expect that they would attack Dong Lei's body, under Dong Lei's thorn armor. The damage they just dealt to Dong Lei was converted into magic damage and returned to their bodies. Dong Lei only discovered this later. Why couldn't he see the thorn's armor's damage coming back? It turns out that it takes a certain amount of time to delay. Motegi Natsuki came to find and invited her to see the beach. He also said that he had a beautiful swimsuit to show to. I almost had a nosebleed. I was fantasizing about it. Wake up and come here. Chapter 45, Boy, have you got married? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before, Dong Lei killed instantly. There was no need for such counter-injury damage. However, the 2 evil messengers reacted quickly and started to flee directly, so they did not die on the spot, but died far away. The voice of the system came to Dong Lei's ears. You have successfully killed evil messenger Qin Jialua, Master Elite. You have gained 155W experience points, 4 attribute points, and 13W military value. Congratulations on triggering the random multiplier. You have gained 112 million experience points, 404 attribute points, and 1341W military value. You have successfully killed evil messenger soul chaser Wuchen bandit, Master Elite. You have gained 151W experience points, 3 attribute points, and 12W military value. Congratulations on triggering the random multiplier. You have gained 121.1 million experience points, 416 attribute points, and 1341W military value. System prompt: your military value has reached 130 million, and you have been successfully promoted to Diamond General. Now, there is only one black-robed old man. The dark magician Huang Yaoshi left. Dong Lei directly put all his attribute points into intelligence. At this moment, his intelligence far exceeded other attribute points, I don't know how many times. Now, there is only one black-robed old man, the dark magician Huang Yaoshi, left. Not bad. Not bad. The dark magician Huang Yaoshi actually clapped his hands and nodded at Dong Lei, looking very optimistic. Next, the dark magician Huang Yaoshi did not attack Dong Lei, but asked Dong Lei, saying, after listening, Dong Lei's face was a little strange and puzzled, and he asked questions frantically. Son, have you married? Seeing Dong Lei silent, the dark magician Huang Yaoshi continued. Don't worry, Miss Dong is so beautiful. She's also a member of the Chamber of Commerce. If you marry her, you will enjoy endless wealth and glory. But as long as you agree to become a dead spirit, it's fine. The dark mage Huang Yaoshi was talking about his daughter, Huang Rome with ears across the wall. Huang Rome with ears across the wall is the member of the Gai Gang Chamber of Commerce in the Palace of the Inheritance Land before. The dark mage Huang Yaoshi actually wanted to match Dong Lei and Huang Rome with ears across the wall together. It seems that this is one of the reasons why Guo Jin became a dead spirit. Dong Lei had a blank expression on his face, but thinking about the reason why Guo Jin became a dead spirit, it seemed that there was such a possibility. However, a dazzling new star of the Fenglai Empire, would she willingly marry Huang Rome with ears across the wall for the words of a dark mage Huang Yaoshi, who didn't know whether it was an empty promise? That's right. She actually wanted to marry Huang Rome with ears across the wall. Instead of marrying this identity and status. What on earth was Guo Jin thinking? Is the girl of the dark mage really that pretty? I know you have a lot of doubts. Also, you have never seen your daughter. I believe you will meet soon. She has been trying to find out about you. You know, your information is very expensive. The dark mage Huang Yaoshi showed his old yellow teeth and laughed strangely. Of course, it's not that easy to become your son-in-law. This is a test for you. Don't die. The dark mage Huang Yaoshi raised the peach blossom wand in his hand, releasing a dazzling light, and the whole venue shook violently, and Huang Yaoshi turned into a ball of smoke, and disappeared after a swirl of smoke. Originally, Dong Lei wanted to take the opportunity to attack the dark mage Huang Yaoshi. As a result, he ran away. This generous reward just disappeared. Damn, who is going to be your son-in-law? Did you agree? Did you say you were going to get married? You don't even know who your daughter is. But your daughter is fine, and you are still investigating her. Could it be? His daughter is from the Gai Gang Chamber of Commerce. I believe it too. The dark wizard Huang Yaoshi and the others will meet soon. Dong Lei frowned slightly and murmured, without thinking too much. The whole ground shook, and a terrible breath swept over. Dong Lei looked up and looked at the front of the evil saint's altar, and a huge crack appeared directly. A huge hand grabbed the crack and climbed up. A 3-meter-tall demon stood in front of Dong Lei and roared. Dong Lei checked the information of this Wangqi demon through the interface. Wangqi demon. Epic level Vice Sect, level, 39. Level, epic.hp, 9800W/9800W. Physical attack /magic attack, 29W, 31W. Defense, 9W. Skills, Evil Tooth Demon, Looking Eye Control, Devil Bloodthirst, Strong Tooth Roar, Een Demon Mist. Function description, a powerful demon under the command of the Evil Saint, with strong magic attack. When Dong Lei saw the Vice Sect, his face lit up and he was very excited. The elite level is the Vice Sect level, and the last is the Sect level. The rewards given by the Vice Sect level are much richer than those given by the elite level. Generally speaking, if you want to kill this kind of Vice Sect level, you need the gamers and NPCs of the entire area to attack in turns, and, after killing the NPC and the game players, they can get extremely generous rewards, not to mention the rewards that Dong Lei got alone. At this time, a system voice came to Dong Lei's ears. World announcement, a deputy patriarch appeared in KS City in the west of Fenglai Empire. Players, please attack it. Participating in this attack can gain a lot of military value and experience points, advanced equipment, etc. After hearing this world announcement, the game players in the entire game were swiping the barrage on the chat channel frantically. Go. I'm still in the novice village, discussing with the boss of the porcelain jars about how to subdue the boss. I don't have time. Go now. Who wants to form a team? We can share the things we get. Listen to my advice. This is a vice principal level. If you don't have enough strength, don't go there to die. Where's that Shurfong? Let him go. We are brushing the rat tail. Damn, we are almost killed by this stinky rat. Advanced equipment. KS City. My sister is here. And the gamers of Dong Lei's army who were present also saw the lookout toothed demon from afar. After seeing the battle between Dong Lei and those black robes, some gamers had already dared not move forward. It's still killing the undead, what a good thing. There are still some gamers who rushed over in the face of the temptation. Should Shurfong be able to defeat this vice principal demon? Isn't that nonsense? Didn't you see the terrifying light just now? Do you dare to go over and die? Our team should just kill Ling honestly. Mom, Buno. Stop looking, I'm going to die. The rewards for vice principal demons are definitely very high. I'm trying to see if there are any missed ones. I want to pick them up. Dreams always come true. Magi Natsuki really came to find me, not to invite me to the beach to look at swimsuits. Instead, he hugged a man next door and persuaded me not to sell tofu for my family anymore. Selling tofu will never make money. I was so angry that I grabbed a handful of 1 and 5 yuan bills and wanted to throw them at her face. Chapter 46 The Tooth-Looking Demon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Wangqi demon that just crawled out had a huge body and dark skin, and the other hand held a tooth-shaped weapon. When the Wangqi demon saw Dong Lei, it slowly walked towards Dong Lei, and the saliva from the corner of its mouth kept dripping to the ground. At the same time, the weapon of the Wangqi demon gradually emitted a black light. It seemed that as long as Dong Lei got closer, it could start attacking Dong Lei. Seeing this, Dong Lei did not think about anything and directly started to attack the Wangqi demon from a distance. Moreover, Dong Lei once again summoned his Mount 1 9-star Thunder Flame Tiger, moving and retreating while attacking. The reason why Dong Lei took back the 9-star Thunder Flame Tiger before was that the 9-star Thunder Flame Tiger stood there, always roaring, and was very excited. As a result, it attracted other undead spirits to disturb Dong Lei's attack and destruction of the evil saint's altar. Dong Lei had no choice but to take back the 9-star Thunder Flame Tiger and put it in Mount 1. Now, he could only deal with this Wangqi demon first, and then he could continue to deal with the evil saint altar. Under the high-speed movement bonus of the barbaric power metal mount, the attack range of the Wangqi demon was not very large. In this situation, Dong Lei kept wandering around the Wangqi demon and attacking it frantically. And the Wangqi demon had no way to attack Dong Lei's 9-star Thunder Flame Tiger. Boom! 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 -10W, -13W, -18W, -24W. The damage continued to increase. Originally, the gamers who were planning to come here to pick up the leek saw the information of the Wangqi demon and fled back in the direction they came from, screaming as they ran. Damn! What is this? Can I mess with it? I'd better run away first. I'll just kill the dead spirits. Why fight with this kind of deputy sex Wangqi demon? I want my life. Even Brother Shurfong plays a roaming style. I won't join in the fun. Male priest. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Do you have enough energy? Can you give Brother Shurfong a chance to make up for it? Brother Shurfong didn't attack. What's wrong with me being a male priest? Can't male priests pick up leeks? Can't men be priests? On the contrary, Daphne madly killed the dead spirits that surrounded her, trying to break through the siege, and wanted to help Dong Lei. However, Daphne seemed to have walked into a dead end, surrounded by this group of seemingly endless dead spirits, making it impossible for Daphne to rush out. On the contrary, some game players were able to stand out and run towards the direction of the evil saint's altar. Then, after seeing the information of the tooth-watching demon, he quickly ran back. Here, After a short period of time, Dong Lei finally killed this huge tooth-watching demon with his own strength. This tooth-watching demon wanted to hold his tooth weapon and cut Dong Lei with dazzling light. Unfortunately, it was still too far away from his attack range and could not attack Dong Lei. It could only wave wildly in the sky, and it seemed quite unsatisfied. In addition, the skills released by the tooth-watching demon were all avoided by the 9-star Thunder and Fire Tiger. The main point is that when the tooth-watching demon released skills, the speed of casting was too slow. Of course, without the badge of brute force, Dong Lei's 9-star Thunder and Fire Tiger would not be so easy to dodge. Finally, the tooth-watching demon, whose blood tank was empty, had an unwilling look in his eyes. As the tooth weapon fell off and onto the ground, he fell to the ground with a bang, causing a puff of dust. At this time, a series of system voices came to Dong Lei's ears. You have successfully killed Wang Qi Demon, Epic Vice Sect, and obtained 987 W experience points, 30 attribute points, and 80 W military value. Congratulations, you have triggered a random multiplier and obtained 856 million experience points, 3,240 attribute points, and 8745 W military value. Your military value has reached 190 million, and you have successfully been promoted to a 9-diamond general. World announcement, player, Shifeng, successfully killed Wang Qi Demon, Epic Vice Sect, and as the first player to complete the Epic Vice Sect, he will be rewarded with 40 W gold coins and a magic gift box, legendary level. Congratulations, you have triggered a random multiplier and obtained 54 10 W gold coins and a magic gift box, quasi-king level. World announcement, Feng Lei Empire, game player, Shifeng, killed the Wang Qi Demon, Epic Vice Chief, and the players of Feng Lei Empire will gain an additional 200% increase in experience, military value, and rarity of equipment for 3 days. Congratulations, you have triggered a random multiplier, and you have gained an additional 3,500% increase in experience, military value, and rarity of equipment. System prompt, since you killed the Wang Qi Demon, Epic Vice Chief, your status has been significantly improved. You have made the world remember your existence, influence plus 10. System prompt, the super strong people in the evil camp have all known your existence, and their favorability towards you is minus 100%, and the relationship has dropped to the extreme. It is currently in the enemy meeting state. Please pay attention to the players. When the gamers heard these world announcements, the chat channel naturally exploded. Damn! I would have joined the Wind and Thunder Empire if I had known earlier. 200% gain. Thank you, Master Shifeng. You helped me out of my urgent need. I am brushing a dungeon, 200% gain, hahaha. Shifeng, we are all from the Wind and Thunder Empire. Remember to greet me loudly when we meet, I will kowtow to you in gratitude. It's always this player Shifeng who makes the world announcement. What about the other players? Can you make a world announcement once? They are all a bunch of trash, including me. What a bullshit. Master Shifeng, take my little sister out of the new village. I can do that to you. System prompt, this player is muted for 24 hours. Reason, color violence. Hurry up and brush the exotic beasts. With 200% gain. What nonsense are you talking about? And the gamers who just escaped back and killed the spirit all heard the system voice of the world announcement. Then, they all turned their heads in amazement and looked in the direction of the tooth-watching demon. The tooth-watching demon died. How many seconds have passed? I ran back and the tooth-watching demon died in front of me. God, Shifeng is awesome. 200% gain. Brothers, kill the undead as much as you can. It's not a dream to get as much military value as you want. I just saw a large amount of health, and it's gone just like that. What skill did Shifeng use? Is it something I didn't see? It's terrible. Daphne was with the NPC soldiers at this moment, and had already dealt with the undead army surrounding her, looking at the shadow of Dong Lei in the distance, and the tooth-watching demon who fell to the ground with a loud sound. This made Daphne's beautiful eyes sparkle and she smiled sweetly. which made the NPC soldiers beside her dumbfounded after seeing it. My name is Takahashi Ryosuke. I want to buy 5 pieces of tofu. Boy, I heard you're good at driving. Want to compete? The man next to him, who was hugged by Magi Natsuki, was named Takahashi Ryosuke, and he was a very good racer. No. I don't have a driver's license, that I refused decisively, handed him 5 pieces of tofu, and took the 5 yuan bill. You can't do it. At this moment, Magi Natsuki looked at me with some disdain and said jokingly, I couldn't help it on the spot. I'll take the test again and get my driver's license. Window_tabula equals window_tabula .push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _type, mix. Chapter 47 Mentally retarded is mentally retarded. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is this the Daphne army commander they met? Surprisingly, he can still laugh. You can imagine how cold Daphne army commander is. Meeting people state. Will you be an extraordinary jealousy state next? Speaking of which, Dong Lei sat on the Star Thunder Flame Tiger and finally killed the Looktooth Demon. During this period, a few undead spirits came to attack Dong Lei, but they were easily killed by Dong Lei. The roar of the Star Thunder Flame Tiger attracted the undead spirits. At that time, Dong Lei slapped the Star Thunder Flame Tiger on the head, and the Star Thunder Flame Tiger stopped calling, "Is this all right?" Dong Lei sighed that he, who has lived 2 lives, did not fully understand the game. After killing the Looktooth Demon, Dong Lei looked at the Evil Saint altar and summoned him. It can be seen that the Evil Saint altar is almost completed. Under the continuous infusion of dead souls, strong light is erupting. It seems that the Evil Saint is about to get out of the altar. Dong Lei's face also changed. He continued to quickly pick up the Hex Devil gun and touch the evil mask, and frantically attacked the Evil Saint altar. Boom! 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 1.5W, 2.8W, 5.1W, 8.1W, 10.5W. The damage continued to rise. Finally, when the Evil Saint altar was about to summon the Evil Saint, the strong light began to burst, and Dong Lei destroyed it. Boom! The Evil Saint altar made a huge explosion sound, and then disappeared without a trace. The empty field was left, as if nothing had happened, but Dong Lei could hear an angry voice clearly. This voice was not the system voice. This saint, Lonely Sword Demon Ling Hu Tsong, is irreconcilable with you. You are actually, Lonely Sword Demon Ling Hu Tsong. Ha! After hearing this, Dong Lei took a deep breath and wiped the sweat from his forehead with his hand. It turned out that the evil saint summoned this time was Lonely Sword Demon Ling Hu Tsong. Thinking of this, Dong Lei felt a chill on his back. In the previous life, Lonely Sword Demon Ling Hu Tsong was also a well-known strong man in the evil camp. That set of lonely swordsmanship killed a large number of strong men in the justice camp, in particular, the justice force. Bald Sword Demon Jamozi, who also had the strength of a saint, was killed by Dugu Sword Demon Ling Hu Kong. No wonder, Daphne was after the dead in her previous life, and Guajin was the same, or Guajin was seduced by the girl Huang Yaoshi. All of this is unknown. Dong Lei quickly drove the Star Thunder Flame Tiger to the corpse of the Wangqi demon, jumped off the mount, and fumbled with the Wangqi demon for a while. Before, Dong Lei didn't need some ordinary beasts and monsters, but, for this kind of Wangqi demon of the deputy sect, picking up a wave of corpses is still necessary. Immediately. In Dong Lei's ears, a series of system voices came out. Congratulations on triggering the random multiplier, you got, Archangel Wisdom Staff, Quasi-King level. Congratulations on triggering the random multiplier, you got, Wangqi Demon Fragment, *499. Congratulations on triggering the random multiplier, you got, Guild Permit. Congratulations on triggering the random multiplier, you got, Equipment Blueprint, King level. Congratulations. Dong Lei picked up a lot of things in an instant, but the most important thing was the first few things. The rest of the things were not needed by Dong Lei. Wangqi demon fragments can be exchanged for equipment, military value, knowledge and other things in the military department. Dong Lei first looked at the guild permit that he cared about. Guild permit, level 1. Level, none, effect. You can establish your own guild. Information, guild permit proves that you can open a guild. Dong Lei looked at the information, smiled, and shook his head. After using the guild permit, you can establish your own guild. You can establish your own camp in the game. You can either be an organization you know in real life, you can either be your own army, you can be a guild. The military situation in the camp is still a little troublesome. After all, there is always someone above. I am not the strongest commander of the military, and I have to obey the orders of the senior military personnel. There are also mixed people in the military, and there are often conflicts between the legion commanders, although the resources and strength of the military are very good in terms of comprehensive aspects. Unless the country is destroyed, if the Fonglei Empire is attacked and the Fonglei Jade Seal is taken away, the military will dissipate. Of course, these are things in the later stages. How can the current game players shake the empire? In the early stages of the game, it is very difficult to establish a guild. More importantly, it is difficult to obtain a guild license. Dong Lei did not expect that this guild license would be exposed after he killed the Watchtooth Demon, an epic-level deputy sect, for the first time. As expected, I am so lucky to have the existence of a man with a growth rate of 3,500%. After establishing a guild, you can sign some tasks with some chambers of commerce, military departments, etc. If you continue to complete these tasks, your guild will continue to expand and become stronger. Even though he is already in a state of meeting with the evil camp, and my guild is very strong and will improve. Dong Lei attaches great importance to his guild. In his previous life, he knew that one person could not defeat the disaster of the world. Only by uniting and cooperating can we withstand attacks from other theaters and face world disasters. Dong Lei first collected the guild permit. If he wanted to create a guild, he still needed to register with the Guild Alliance. The Guild Alliance is also a place full of weird things. Dong Lei went back for a trip. After all, he needed to create a guild. Next, Dong Lei continued to look at other things. At this moment, Dong Lei looked down at the equipment in his hand and muttered to himself. Archangel is mentally retarded. Wisdom Staff. Archangel's Wisdom Staff, Quasi-King level, level 45. Level, Quasi-King level, physical/magical attack, 4520-5758. Equipment bonuses, 0.1. Intelligence plus 897.2. There is a 100% probability that attacking the enemy will increase the spell strength and damage by 250%, and the duration is permanent. 3. There is a 50% probability that attacking the enemy will reduce the cooldown by 100%, and the duration is permanent. Function introduction. Archangel Wisdom Staff, one of the Quasi-King level mage equipment, has terrifying cooling and damage. A mentally retarded person is a mentally retarded person. When Dong Lei saw this information, his eyes lit up. He was pleasantly surprised by the fact that his intelligence alone was plus 897. He was worthy of being equipped with Quasi-King level equipment. There is also a 50% reduction of the cooldown by 100%, so when he has the opportunity to attack at once, he will release 16 attacks. This can include skills. You can release 16 skills at once. Just think about it and you will know how terrifying it is. After passing the familiar route, I got my driver's license today. As soon as I walked out of the door, I saw a man holding a cigarette appearing on the other side of the road. This man is the one who deducted 12 points from me. On the spot, I couldn't stand it anymore and rushed over. Later, I came out through the uniformed gate and went in through the uniformed gate. Chapter 48 Learning Advanced Mage Knowledge. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, the great mental retard requires level 45, which is not something Dong Lei can use now. Dong Lei's level is only level 29, it requires 2 job changes before it can be used. If you really want to use it, you need to learn advanced mage knowledge. Only when you become a human being and an elite in knowledge can you use equipment and equipment beyond the next level, Quasi-King level. At this moment, Dong Lei's package also contains equipment blueprints, King level, Demon Gift Box, Quasi-King level, Meow Renfone gift box, legendary level, and other items. Dong Lei first takes a look at this equipment blueprint, king level, equipment drawings, king level, equipment, Mad Lion armor, level, 60. Level, king level. Defense plus 8952. Health, 2W. Equipment bonuses, 0.1. Defense plus 469.2. Constitution plus 765.3. There is a 40% probability of recovering 3% of the maximum health every 5 seconds after receiving damage. If no damage is received within 5 seconds, the health recovery per unit time will be increased to 5% of the maximum health for 20 seconds. Function introduction. The Mad Master's armor is a powerful defense, and can also restore one's own health. Manufacturing materials. Crazy Lion Broken Bones *999, Crazy Lion Broken Bones *999, Crazy Lion Tiger Whip *999, Advanced Knowledge of 1. Diamond Manufacturing. When he saw this equipment blueprint, king level, Dong Lei's eyes lit up. This king level equipment blueprint is still very good. If you do not receive any damage within 5 seconds, the health recovery per unit time will be increased to 5% of the maximum health value. As long as Dong Lei is not attacked, his blood volume will recover quickly in a short period of time. Don't underestimate this 5% recovery. Half of the blood volume is recovered in 50 seconds. After Dong Lei took a look around, he clicked on it and started driving. Dong Lei took advantage of the 3,500% gain and quickly opened these gift boxes. Soon, 2 items appeared in front of Dong Lei, and the information on these 2 items was randomly opened. Brahma Sword, Quasi-King level, level, 45. Level, Quasi-King level, physical/magical attack, 5423-5674. Equipment bonuses, 0.1. Quantity plus 947.2. There is a 60% probability that attacking the enemy will increase the physical attack damage by 60%, and the duration is permanent. 3. There is a 30% probability that attacking the enemy will cause superimposed damage of 20%, and the duration is permanent. Function introduction. Brahma Sword, one of the Quasi-King level mage equipment, with terrible superimposed damage effects and physical damage. When Dong Lei saw this piece of equipment, he felt a little unhappy. Wow! I can't use such a perverted weapon. This piece of equipment is for warriors, not for mages. Then, Dong Lei looked at another piece of equipment. Noisy Spell Speed Leggings, legendary, level, 19. Level, legendary. Defense 1654, equipment bonuses, 0.1. Physique, plus 199.2. There is a 70% probability that attacking the enemy will increase the penetration damage by 40% and the duration is 23. There is a 30% probability that attacking the enemy will increase the critical hit rate by 20% and the duration is 20. Function introduction. Hustle Magic Speed Leggings, one of the advanced defensive equipment, with critical strike and penetration effects. This piece of equipment also made Dong Lei's eyes light up, and he quickly equipped it with quick hands. Single men usually have very fast hand speed. Dong Lei then used LV2 superimposed damage on the Noisy Magic Speed Leggings. Legendary level, equipment. Then, the Hustle Magic Speed Leggings, legendary level, underwent a big change. Next to Dong Lei's ear, the system's voice prompt also came out. Congratulations! Noisy Magic Speed Leggings, legendary level, successfully triggered a random 100-fold increase under your LV2 superimposed damage. Noisy Magic Speed Leggings, legendary level, the equipment has an additional bonus, with a 100% probability. Attacking the enemy will increase the penetration damage by 420%, and the duration is permanent. This 420% penetration is equivalent to Dong Lei completely ignoring the existence of defense when attacking. Too perverted. Dong Lei murmured to himself quietly, with a smile on his face. Both of these pieces of equipment are very good, but it's a pity that I can't use the Brahma Sword. Dong Lei turned to look at Daphne, as if he had an idea of his own, and Daphne also drove a black-scaled war horse to Dong Lei. The first words she spoke made Dong Lei feel warm. Master Dong Lei, are you okay? Are you injured anywhere? Looking at Daphne's worried eyes, Dong Lei couldn't stand it anymore. Without thinking, he handed the sword to Daphne. What's wrong with me? I'll give you this weapon. You have to learn the knowledge well so that you can use this sword in advance. Daphne was stunned for a moment, then reached out to take the Brahma sword. After seeing the properties of the Brahma sword, her expression changed drastically. This. Lord Donglei, this is too precious, Daphne can't afford it. Daphne, I'll give you this Brahma sword. After saying that, Daphne handed over the Brahma sword in her hand. Although Daphne liked this sword very much and couldn't let it go, she still handed it over. I said I'll give it to you. Don't talk nonsense. Donglei still said the same thing, although he also knew the preciousness of this Brahma sword, but Daphne had the best impression of him. There's another point, if you kiss someone, you have to be responsible. In fact, it was the concern just now that made Donglei willing to give Daphne such a precious weapon. Well. Thank you, Lord Donglei. Daphne was very excited. She took the Brahma sword and observed it for a while before putting it away. Now, her knowledge is good, but she still needs to learn more before she can use this Brahma sword. At this moment, Donglei turned his head to look at the army and gamers who were destroying the undead, and casually shot the undead that rushed over. On the spot, this undead was easily destroyed by Donglei. Donglei chose to block this system sound reward. As time went on, Donglei joined in to clear the undead army. The entire KS city cleared half of the city. During this period, the gamers shouted for all kinds of big brothers and gods. Brother Shurfeng. Don't kill. Leave some for us. That's right. We rely on these undead to turn over. Captain Daphne, you are so beautiful. Don't kill them either. Brothers and sisters-in-law, don't kill them. I beg you. The gamers present begged Donglei and Daphne in various ways. When Daphne heard what her sister-in-law said, her face flushed, she stopped attacking and looked at Donglei. Donglei also stopped. On the one hand, the level of these undeads was too low, and he also recognized these younger brothers and sisters. After all, these were his own troops, and he had to give them a taste of a little bit of the pie. On the other hand, Donglei felt that after the game players killed the undead, he got more benefits. Later, I learned that the man who cheated me and deducted 12 points was named Pseudo Kyochi. Pseudo Kyochi is also a speed racer, nicknamed Shanji. I heard that he has many brothers. And now I am in trouble, the tofu shop can't open either. Chapter 49 Harvesting leeks requires many aspects. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This was the most important point, which prevented Donglei from attacking. Cutting leeks requires cutting in all aspects. Moreover, after the players saw that Donglei and Daphne were not attacking the undead, they applauded, and praised them. This is the most powerful ability to cut leeks. After selling you were not only very moved, but also said thank you. Donglei can earn military value happily without having to do anything. For him, it's also good. Daifuni didn't have such an effect. She drove her horse with her head down and smiled silly, and didn't attack anymore. I don't know why. Soon, there was another burst of massacre. During this period, there were several dangers, but Donglei easily solved them. In 4 hours, the undead army in KS City was finally cleared away. During this period of time, Donglei even yawned frequently. After the undead army in KS City was wiped out, Donglei heard system sounds one after another. You led the army soldiers to eliminate the undead army in KS City, and you received a military reward, 200,000 military industry points and 400,000 experience points. Congratulations, you triggered a random 100-fold increase and gained 32.4 million military industry points and 40 million experience points. Donglei's military value has exceeded 200 million. Diamond Warrior is the top Diamond Warrior in the past. To become a top warrior, you need to get a military value of over 500 million, and to become a top warrior is to get a military value of 5 billion. There are already billions in my own experience pool. Even General Diamond is almost in control of the Fonglei Empire's army. However, if you want the absolute right to speak, you still need to be at least as strong as a top warrior. Moreover, it is necessary to improve the relationship with some top warriors. Otherwise, others will still need to restrain themselves. There are still many restrictions on the military command of the entire Fonglei Empire. Therefore, Donglei still wants to establish the guild as soon as possible. At this time, Dong Lei looked at Daphne and found that she was commanding the NPC soldiers to clean up the battlefield. This time Daphne's army soldiers did not lose very many soldiers, after all. NPC soldiers can also possess Dong Lei's barbaric power metal. For these low-level undead, no special effort is needed. Gamers can't force themselves to play it. It can be said that it is very easy to eliminate these undead armies, regardless of whether it is an ant priest or a male priest. They don't need to breastfeed, and they can still last a lot of damage. In the meantime, you're in trouble. With Dong Lei's actions, the entire army seemed to be at ease. This has just begun. In addition to KS City, there are still several towns that need to be cleared. Gamers are also very enthusiastic and passionate about picking up the corpses of the undead. Sometimes they would kill and pick them up at the same time, and several times they picked up all the undead corpses in KS City. Many gamers have touched it several times. It has to be said that gamers who follow Dong Lei will still benefit a lot. Not only did he earn a lot of gold coins, military value, etc., he also improved his level. Some were gaining 200%, and with good luck, they got dozens of diamond level and epic level equipment. The entire team is making a lot of money. Those who are unlucky also have several pieces of gold level equipment and some scraps and so on. For gamers, following Dong Lei is really a good thing. Little did they know that they were more leeks than leeks. As they were being harvested, they started to grow excitedly. In Dong Lei's view, the next step is to kill some elite level beasts and go back to quickly learn his own knowledge. At present, Dong Lei has killed 4 elite beasts above diamond level, including the 4 Wangtooth demons, Vice Sect, Qinjialua, Miaoren Feng, and Wuchen Pirate Chief. These are still worthwhile for the Chaos game. There are still 2 vocational intermediate knowledge that have not been learned. Therefore, Dong Lei plans to improve his knowledge after returning. At this time, Dong Lei shouted to Daphne on the side. Daphne. Hey. Master Dong Lei. What do you need from me, Daphne? Daphne raised her shy face and answered immediately. After calling her sister-in-law several times, Daphne was already extremely shy. They didn't dare to look at Dong Lei. They all looked nervous and shy, thinking wildly. You lead the army soldiers, including my army, and go to a city according to what Guo Jin said before. Go and deal with the remaining undead army. I have to do some things. I'll be there later. Dong Lei said seriously to Daphne. As you command. Daphne straightened her body, regained her appearance as a legion leader, and answered. Later, Commander Daphne led the soldiers and players to a city. When the game players heard the news, they were extremely excited. In this war, their profits were generally very high. Now, there is still a city to be cleared, and more benefits can be obtained. For the gamers, this is a rare thing. And they immediately followed the army soldiers to a city. Dong Lei left first, and after saying goodbye to Daphne, he went out to KS City. Some gamers also found this situation. After asking various sisters-in-law and legion leaders, they felt relieved. Daphne's answer was that Dong Lei would come back. This made the gamers present feel relieved. The equipment of the undead army has been updated, and there is no need to be afraid. However, they were still very frightened when they met the black robe and the tooth-looking demon. After all, they couldn't beat them. The reason why Dong Lei left was that if he thought that the elite level of the undead was almost non-existent, the elite black robe man and the tooth-looking demon were not available in every city. If you want to quickly complete the job transfer task, you still need to find it yourself, because some job transfers in the game Chaos are still very rigid. You must kill 10 elite beasts, otherwise you cannot complete the job transfer. Even if it is a deputy clan level, it represents a self. After leaving KS City, Dong Lei went to a yellow mountain range. Dong Lei remembered that there were still some elite beasts at this location. When he arrived at the yellow mountain range, a system prompt sound came out beside Dong Lei's ear. System prompt, player, you have entered the Golden Money Mountain range. Through the mediation of the ants and the 8 wives, Pseudo Kyochi said that he could let me go, that is, in the Akina Mountain. In a game, if I beat him, I can let me go. Among them, there was also a racer, that is Magi Natsuki's new boyfriend, Takahashi Ryosuke. 86 mountains, that I arrived as scheduled, for my life. For the Tofu Shop. Chapter 50 Pikachu Wolf. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dong Lei also looked at the skills he had plundered along the way. Then, he exchanged 2 of the previous Miao Renfeng skills. They were LV2 Su Qin Back Dagger, and LV2 Miao Family Dagger Technique, into the quick skills, and LV2 Life-Taking Sword Technique, and LV2 Pao Ding Jie Jian, were replaced. LV2 Life-Taking Sword Technique, Level 2. Effect, release a strong sword beam, and shoot the enemy to increase the damage by 700%, cooling time, 15 seconds, blue bar consumption. 110 MP, proficiency, 0 out of 100. Function introduction, exclusive skill of the soul-chasing life-taking thief. The skill is very powerful. LV2 Pao Ding Jie Jian, Level 2. Effect, transform into an extremely powerful sword beam, attack the enemy to increase the damage by 690%, cooling time, 15 seconds, blue bar consumption, 110 MP, proficiency, 0 out of 100. Function introduction, Chenjialuo's exclusive skill, the deadly skill of Tiandi Chamber of Commerce. The so-called cooling time is nothing to Dong Lei. And the skills of Wang Qi Demon, when triggered by random 100-fold amplification, are not stronger than those of the black-robed evil messenger, so Dong Lei chose to ignore it. Mountain of Money? That's right. After hearing this voice, Dong Lei knew that he had arrived at his destination. This Mountain of Money is a leveling place for level 20 gamers. In addition, the monsters in this Mountain of Money refresh very quickly. After killing a certain number of monsters, several diamond-level elite monsters will be exploded. These diamond-level elite monsters are not very powerful, so the rewards will be relatively small compared to the brick-level elites. However, for the first level, this place is a holy land. As long as a few great brothers take you to brush experience like crazy, you will arrive in a short time and hear the system's job transfer task. Now Dong Lei, if he comes here, he should solve the job transfer task first, and the first level knowledge needs to be exchanged at the military department, and it must be studied in the city's academy, and the approval of the academy tutor is required. Only then can it be considered to have truly completed the knowledge. These mountains of money are not really full of money. Instead, Pikachu wolves, diamond level, appear in this place, and there are many of them. Almost Pikachu wolves, diamond level, are everywhere in these mountains, and there are also Pikachu wolves, diamond level elites. Pikachu wolves wander around, looking around with their eyes, and often roar and scream. Moreover, Pikachu wolves are also social animals, and they come in a group when attacking. Dong Lei rode his mount, the Star Thunder Flame Tiger, and soon after he headed for the Golden Coin Mountain Range. He discovered a group of Pikachu wolves. Moreover, there were 3 Pikachu wolves, diamond level elites. Among the group of Pikachu wolves, Dong Lei saw the information about the Pikachu wolves through the interface. Pikachu wolf, diamond level, level 25. Level, diamond level. HP, 4W/4W. Physical attack magic attack, 5641-6584. Defense, 800. Skills, Golden Slam, flammable and explosive. Function introduction, Pikachu wolf's melee speed is extremely fast, often in groups, and finally you have to fight with it at a short distance. Pikachu wolf, diamond level elite, level 32. Level, diamond level elite. HP, 8W/8W. Physical attack magic attack, 8541-12546. Defense, 2410. Skills, Golden Slam, flammable fireworks, bite. Function introduction, Pikachu wolf elite is extremely fast. It is normal to be attacked. Be careful. Pikachu wolf also discovered Dong Lei's existence. In Dong Lei's view, he was shouting and yelling again. Then, this group of Pikachu wolves also discovered Dong Lei and attacked Dong Lei. The more diamond level elite Pikachu wolves, the better. Dong Lei held up the Hex Devil gun and attacked the Pikachu wolves. Boom! 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 65W, 63W, 67W, 75W, 66W. This group of Pikachu wolves could not get close to Dong Lei at all and were killed on the spot by Dong Lei's Hex Devil gun. Even if 1 or 2 Pikachu wolves avoided Dong Lei's attack, they were bitten to death on the spot by the Star Thunder Flame Tiger. A series of system sounds came to Dong Lei's ears. You successfully killed Pikachu wolf, diamond level, and obtained 210 experience points and 20 gold coins. Congratulations, the random 100-fold increase was triggered, and you obtained 1.45 W experience points and 6,542 gold coins. You successfully killed Pikachu Wolf, Diamond level, and obtained 167 experience points and 15 gold coins. Congratulations, the random 100-fold increase was triggered, and you obtained 1.21 W experience points and 6,234 gold coins. You successfully killed Pikachu Wolf, Diamond level, and obtained 200 experience points and 18 gold coins. Congratulations. In a short period of time, this group of Pikachu wolves were killed by Dong Lei, including the 3, Pikachu Wolf, Diamond level elite. You successfully killed Pikachu Wolf, Diamond elite, and received 321 experience points and 45 gold coins. Congratulations, you triggered a random 100-fold increase. You gained 1.75 W experience points and 8,797 gold coins. You successfully killed Pikachu Wolf, Diamond elite, and received 322 experience points and 36 gold coins. Congratulations, you triggered a random 100-fold increase. You gained 1.89 W experience points and 9,082 gold coins. You successfully killed Pikachu Wolf, Diamond elite, and received 345 experience points and 38 gold coins. Congratulations, you triggered a random 100-fold increase. Moreover, Dong Lei also plundered the Pikachu Wolf, Diamond level elite, Golden Skin Crash, Flammable Fireworks, and Bite Thrust skills. But compared to the skills of the black-robed evil messenger, they were still too poor, and Dong Lei chose to ignore them. Compared with the Diamond level ordinary Pikachu Wolf, the elite level one is bound to be powerful. However, as long as Dong Lei attacks, he will still be injured and die. In fact, they are all the same. Now, there are only 3 monsters left in the job transfer mission that are less than 3 Diamond level elites. I have completed 7 elite beasts below Diamond level. After Dong Lei killed them all, he drove the Star Thunder Flame Tiger at the speed of a train and continued deep into the Qianxian Mountains. Woo woo. Along with the shouts of Xing Lei Yanhu, Dong Lei bumped into another group of Pikachu wolves. Soon, under the terrible injury of Dong Lei who passed by, 8 rays of light appeared one after another. One by one, the Pikachu wolves fell, and the elite Pikachu wolves also had to die. During this period, Dong Lei also met a Pikachu wolf, Diamond level deputy sect. This is very rare. However, he was still killed by Dong Lei. Boom. 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 WWWW. As the damage increases, the speed of Star Thunder Flame Tiger becomes even faster. In the passenger seat of Ryosuke Takahashi, Natsuki Motegi was also sitting, got out of the car and continued to cheer Takahashi. Ryosuke, he was furious, for his own life, for the tofu shop, and for love. After furiously stepping on the accelerator, slamming on the brakes, and turning the steering wheel, it took a while. The 3 of us all entered the uniform door. Later, while they were writing letters of apology, they obediently handed over their driver's licenses.